Well, hello there, Libra. How are you? It is so good to see you again. I'm Mary Sue, and I'm so grateful that you're here. So today we are doing your March 2024 General Tarot Reading. We'll take a look first at the overall energy with the Oracle cards, and then we'll move to the Tarot for more details about any obstacles on your path or areas of resistance, and of course, advice from Spirit. So let's see what we have on the horizon for you. Okay, wandering path, enjoy the journey. A dove spirit, be peace. I'm only laughing because Gemini had the same card. And, you know, there's a little bit about, yours is different, the energy I'm getting here, because the dove spirit is be peace, right? This is the energy of allowing yourself to be okay with not sticking to a plan. Okay, the wandering path is about not necessarily sticking to the plan, of understanding that new people, new opportunities are coming onto your path, and that it's okay if you feel like, you know, that saying, all that wander are not lost. It's kind of like, I'm not lost. Because I know, it's kind of like surrendering, knowing that your spirit guides, your angels, the universe, God, whatever you want to call what you believe in, okay? It's the energy of understanding that you're on kind of like some kind of like a beautiful, this is a peaceful energy. This is not like up in your head and being all strung out about you don't have a plan. This is the energy of, I'm waiting to see what is available to me, what is coming on to my path, because you know that you're co-creating. You know, this is the number 21, and 2 + 1 = 3. 3 is all about co-creating, building, understanding that you're working with spirit, and that's why you're peaceful with whatever is going on in your life. Yeah, look at, oh my goodness, you have had, and then you're showing up right underneath here, like, you know, you have the deep knowing card with the justice, right? You know that the path that you're on, even though you don't know exactly where it is going, and you have conflict. So you could have some internal conflict, being an air sign, okay? We have the loving man. So it could have something to do with romance. So it's kind of like allowing yourself to let whatever, it's kind of like allowing yourself to let go of the control. And that is hard for air signs, right? To let go of the control, to let go of the logic. They're saying the logic, right? That whatever is coming onto your path in this situation is for your highest good. And I feel like if you listen to your intuition, which is the wandering path, listening to your intuition in this situation, you know that it's for your highest good. But some of the things that are happening on your path are not going to make logical sense to you. It's kind of like, or the decisions that you may make over, like, between now and the 4/4 portal, April 4th, right? Because we're going into eclipse season. Some of the things that are coming onto your path, or the synchronicities, or the new people, or where all of this is going, or decisions you're wanting to make at this time, may not make sense to anybody, including yourself, Libra. But that's okay, because intuitively, if you allow yourself to be peaceful with this time, allowing yourself to return back to your heart space. And then we have the loving woman. So we've had the loving man and the loving woman. This is about a relationship, perhaps a twin flame relationship. Perhaps a relationship, and Libra, you know, I don't go the love route unless it comes out. This is a relationship that I feel like your spirit guides and angels, it's either a relationship that is being reunited, perhaps a twin flame type of energy, or this is a relationship that is going to be new, but somebody that is going to be on your path for a very long time. I feel like this is somebody that's coming back from the past, though, Libra. So it does not have to be romantic. It could be family, friend, somebody near and dear to your heart at one time. Yeah, it's somebody from the past. And then you have the double energy. So the double energy, and that came out really strongly in the Gemini reading too. So, which is very common. Air signs tend to have readings that are very similar, earth signs very similar. That's kind of common because you have commonalities in your signs. I feel like you're really attached to your work. It's kind of like, I don't want romance. You could be in that energy of, nope, not doing romance. I'm working on my career. I got my pentacles are my, yeah, it's kind of like, that's okay, Mary Sue. It's just me and my pentacles, or me trying to build some pentacles, right? It's kind of like, I don't need friends. I just need things. I need material things. I'm attached to things that are not going to hurt me. It's that type of energy. But at the end of the day, right, I think you're kind of asking yourself, is that really all that I want? Or is it time for me to walk away from thinking that it is just about my career or my money or the material things, and not that you're saying no to all of that, right? But it's kind of like, yeah, but at the end of the day, I want to be with somebody, right? I want to be able to share my material things with somebody. I want to travel, but I want to travel with somebody. I want to open my heart. This is the 8 and the 1. 8 plus 1 equals 9. My heart truly desires to have this connection, a connection. You may not have a specific person in mind, right? But you want a connection in your life. You want that balance. So you could have been really focusing on your career, but you've been out of balance. It's kind of like, no, wait a minute. I also want a little love and fun in my life, right? I want to balance myself out. Pluto has moved about a month ago, moved out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, and it's moved into your 5th house, and it'll be there for the next 20 years. This is kind of like, for the next 20 years, do I just want to cozy up at the end of the day with my pentacles? No. We find a lot of pride and fulfillment out of our work, but where do we get balance? We get balance when we also have connections in our life, connections to people and relationships and fun and passion and pleasure, right? And that's where Pluto is sitting in your 5th house. It's kind of like, okay, it's not all about work. Let's balance that out and bring in some, I feel like you're stepping into romance. It's kind of like the energy that your guides are saying. It's time to also not just have your pentacles or a career or focusing on that, right? In fact, for some of you, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to clarify this, that if you don't allow yourself, and for some of you may already be experiencing it because it's a general reading, if you don't allow yourself to have this balance, right, there could be something that happens. Either, pentacles can also be your health. So it could be something happens either with your health or your pentacles that helps you to step onto a path that will bring more balance. Yeah, let's see. There you are. You're showing up. Yeah, you're moving forward. I love this. I think for some of you, if we don't heed the energy, the intuitive energy that you are receiving here, that it's time to balance out your life, right? It's kind of like understanding that leads to a tower. When we don't allow ourselves to make those changes that we're intuitively being whispered to, then those whispers turn into, louder voices, and then finally the tower. And so if there's been something intuitive, like you've been knowing, I need more balance in my life. I'm working too much. I'm focusing too much on what I own instead of, exchanging my gifts with the world. Yeah. This is balance again. Allowing yourself to share your loving light, your gifts, your spiritual gifts perhaps, your creative abilities, sharing yourself, sharing your heart, sharing your love with other people so that you can attract that in. And I think for some of you, this is perhaps somebody from the past or family situations or friends, wanting to reconnect to people that maybe you wandered away from for some time, or maybe this person wandered away from you for some time, but it's kind of like, I want to return home. I feel like that's the energy, because we have the King of Swords, Aquarius energy, wherein that Pluto is in Aquarius, allowing you to step into a new world, right? Where it's kind of like you're understanding that you don't want to just be the emperor, just make the money or have, that be your focus. It's kind of like, no, I want to have more balance in my life. I want to have love. I want to have connection. I want to have all of this. And I know some of you in the comments are going to say, no, I've closed the door on that, right? But then understanding there's only love and fear. So if you're not in a loving energy, you are in a fearful energy. And when we're in a fearful energy, we're going to only attract in more people and situations that highlight that fear to us. So if we can get into an energy of forgiveness, and forgiveness again is not condoning somebody's actions, but allowing ourselves to release any of the emotions or energies of resentment, regret, shame, guilt, whatever those energies are, those negative energies around a certain situation, it helps us to open our heart to seeing life and people and situations in a loving way. And when we're in that sense of love and not in fear, when we're in the sense of love, we attract in more loving energy, more loving situations, more loving people into our life. So whether or not you want to actually reunite with somebody from the past, it's not necessarily about reuniting with them, but you're being asked to have a loving energy around that connection, to step into the energy of forgiveness, of allowing yourself to release any of the emotions, understanding that when we harbor those emotions, we're just dragging them into the future. It's allowing ourselves to release that. It's like here, releasing, right? All those butterflies. Releasing the negative energy and instead sending this person or this situation love so that you can attract in more loving options. I feel like for some of you, you had a really difficult ending to a relationship, and therefore you maybe even closed the door to romance and connections because you were like, that was too painful. I do not want to revisit that type of energy again. Right? So I'll go over here and I'm just going to work on my pentacles, right? And that's going to be my life. But understanding that that's not a balanced life. And the only way we can balance it out is to get into that energy of love. Okay, so let's see what your obstacle is here. Yeah, 9 again, 9 of Wands. So it is the energy of understanding, right? That I feel like, it has been a long road. It has been a long road. Going on this has been a very long road. Okay, so I know they were asking me to look for something and I can't find it. So I don't know. They'll show it to me if I need it. Okay, understanding that your life right now is depleting. Okay, that your energy is being depleted because you don't have a balance in life. When we're out of balance, then we feel drained. We don't feel like we have the energy to do some of the things that we would like to do. So it's kind of like, once again, helping ourselves to step into that loving energy will also help you to step into the energy of attracting more healthy situations, higher vibration situations, more loving situations. Okay, So let's see what your advice is. Yeah, you're kind of like stuck in this never-ending story of love is, this is the Four of Cups. Love is disappointing. I'm going to put my head down. Look, both of these, head down. Love is disappointing. That's the story I'm going to write. That's the story I'm going to tell myself. Love is always disappointing. Never gets me what I really and truly want. But here's the thing. It's time to heal that. You have the healing light. Allowing yourself to understand that when we are not in that loving energy, then we are in fear. And when we are living in fear, we only attract in situations that bring us a greater sense of anxiety and fear. When we can allow ourselves to release that and to love ourselves, sometimes we feel like we can't attract in love, right? That we're waiting for somebody else to love us before we can feel loved. This is understanding that what we feel about ourselves is being reflected from the world. If we're feeling as if love is disappointing, then it's asking ourselves, are we disappointing ourselves in the way we love ourselves? Healing ourselves begins with loving ourselves. Understanding that what we put out, the energy we put out into the world is what is reflected back to us. If we can put out this loving energy, right? Love will be reflected back to us. But if we put out an energy of fear, of people hurt me, so I'm closing off those doors and I'm just going to cozy up with my pentacles, right? Then that's all we'll get more of. We'll get people that do hurt us. We'll get people that create more fear in our life. But it does begin with us. It doesn't begin with somebody else loving us first so that we can love ourselves. It's stepping into that energy of truly loving ourselves, right? And loving even those parts of ourselves that are fearful. Understanding that when we balance out the fear with the love, when we love those parts of ourselves that are fearful, are insecure, right, are filled with guilt or shame, when we allow ourselves to love those parts of ourselves, then all of a sudden we're releasing that. That's forgiveness, is loving those parts of ourselves that sometimes are the ones that have been wounded the hardest, where the wounds are the deepest, allowing ourselves to love that part of ourselves, not waiting for somebody else to recognize us or love us, but to step into that energy of loving ourselves. And when we do, my goodness, that is inner peace. That is truly inner peace. And creating this energy where more love is returned to you. And I do feel it's kind of like you have this counterpart out there, right? This person that is coming onto your path or returning. There's this energy of reuniting with love in all different kinds of relationships, and maybe even in your life in general. Let's see, because I do feel, because we had the loving man and the loving woman, I feel like you do have a counterpart here. So let's see when this person may come in. Okay, we have next week. I'm not really sure about that. But maybe, this is really interesting because on the clock, it's like 3 o'clock and March, okay, which actually starts next week. Actually starts the end of this week, really, right? But it's kind of like, is the third month. This situation literally could be, it's all about the way that we perceive other people. If we perceive other people are going to hurt us, right? That's us saying, oh, well, I don't love myself enough to stand up for myself, right? To protect my own self. So I'm just going to, cut people off. This is the energy of, wait a minute, I want this balance in my life. I'm willing to allow people into my life because I love myself. I know I'm going to stand up for myself. I have healthy boundaries. I'm going to speak up for myself, and I'm going to love myself. I'm not going to be fearful that people are going to reject me, because then that means that I reject myself. It's stepping into that energy of just truly loving yourself and allowing forgiveness in past situations and allowing yourself to forgive yourself for your part in any previous situations, right? Just releasing all of that energy. Wow, powerful, Libra. You have had some pretty profound readings lately. Okay, let's pull a soul truth card for you. And I do personal readings, so if you're interested, the link is in the description box below. I'd really be honored to do a reading for you. All right, from whom can I release my judgment right now? Yeah, that's forgiveness, right? Is when we're judging other people or fearful of other people judging us. That is fear. That's not love. But when we can step into the energy of releasing those judgments, that is forgiveness, right? Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles. Drop the expectations and be grateful for what is. Yeah, beautiful energy there. All right. Well, Libra, I'm going to leave it there. I really love you. Thank you so much for all of your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you again really soon. Be well. See you soon. Bye-bye.